You're not live. I think we're good.
I think we're live.
Are you live?
I think so. Rotate your device. You can't
I-
turn your phone while live. Why not?
Oh, I think it's letting you.
Is it?
Hi guys, we're just getting
We'll
set
find
up.
out. We'll find out.
That works. All right.
You think so? All right. Here we go.
Well, I'm Jen Suzuki.
I'm Madison Hobbs.
Tell us what you do.
Yeah, so I'm a birth and postpartum doula here in the Kansas City area. I've been a birth doula for about 1.5 years and a postpartum doula for a month. And I help moms in labor and during their postpartum period after having the baby and all of that stuff.
Okay. I'm Jen. I've been a doula for about 3 years and a nurse for 4. I do mainly birth doula, and then as a nurse I've worked in the NICU at Children's Mercy, done labor delivery, and then lactation consulting in the NICU as well. So I'm really loving everything birth, babies, mamas, women's health, family health, and that's what I'm passionate about. So we're here to talk to you guys about what a doula does, how she helps moms, how she helps babies, how she helps the partner, and why we do what we do. And if you are pregnant or wanting to get pregnant or just a woman considering her future, this is definitely a video for you to listen to about. And there's a lot of misconceptions. A doula is only for natural birth and natural labor, but a doula actually does a lot of things. She is the physical support, she supports the partner, she's informational support, emotional support, mental support, and spiritual support as well. So Madison will touch on that a little bit more.
Yeah, so I kind of got into the doula world because I wanted a more personal touch in my life. I fell in love with childbirth when I was really young. I watched different TV shows on TLC that touched on birth, and I actually started going to nursing school to work in the labor and delivery unit, and just kind of discovered the work of the doula and how personal it can be and how one-on-one it is. And you're working directly with moms and their partners, and we're with you from the very beginning to the very end, and we get to see your baby take their first breath and come into this world, however that happens. And there's definitely that misconception that we're only for natural birth, and while we definitely advocate for the power of what a woman's body can do, and empowering women in that strength and in the decision making in her birth, we support every decision, and we provide evidence-based information if moms and partners are looking for that. But if you go into it saying, well, I know I want an epidural, so I don't need a doula, that's not necessarily true, and you can definitely benefit from a doula, because even if you have an epidural, you're still going through labor, you're still having a baby, there's still those emotions going around it, your partner's still watching you go through this and supporting you.
And they need support, and if your partner is a male, they sometimes freeze during the birth process, and a C-section or epidural or natural labor. They're like, how do I fix it? How do I help? And the person that they love most is in some pain, and it can freak them out. So having a doula there to be like, hey, why don't you get up by her face and give her words of encouragement, affirmations, and the doula is going to do some hip squeezes or back pressure, or things like getting labor going. Having dad there, to be involved in the process is really important. So
yeah, for sure.
And one analogy I like to bring awareness to about what a doula does is, if you consider this scenario, you're going to the gym. It's like a global gym, a YMCA, a Planet Fitness, whatever it is. You go there and you have a workout you have to do, or you can use a trainer there, take a class, whatever. You go in, you can still have a great experience. The staff there is very knowledgeable, they're experts, but they're also really busy. They have other clients, just like the nurses, the doctors, the midwives, they have other patients, and your clinicians, they're going to be really focused on the health and safety of you and your baby medically. But your doula is like taking a personal trainer to the gym with you, and she is going to be there with you. She knows the workout, she knows birth, she knows your partner and you that are there as well, and she's going to help you get through every step of the process. So say it's a 12-hour workout, she knows what you're going to need in that first hour and how you're going to need to position yourself, breathe, keep your mental game strong, so that you can move to each next hour of the process or of the contractions or the phases of labor. And then one question we were talking about with the epidural, so same situation. You go to the gym, you find out the workout's really, really hard and you need to scale down. The epidural process looks like, well, you still might be walking on a slight incline on the treadmill for several hours. Wouldn't you want someone there to emotionally support you, talk you through it, tell you what's going on with your body, support your partner, and also just be there for after the delivery to advocate for things that you wanted, like the skin to skin, you know, delayed cord clamping, any of those things that you had talked about in your birth plan. The doula holds the space to give that to you, and then even holds space for considerations like C-sections. If you know your body's not progressing, failure to progress is a really common situation that the physicians are going to talk about. Well, should we look at a C-section? And the physician and the midwives, they make safe, necessary calls when that procedure is necessary. They are not messing around. They know that that is the safest and best thing for the baby. But the medical system and world is not perfect, and sometimes having a doula there or a support person who can advocate and hold that space to say, how do you feel your body's doing? Because your body in labor, that intuition is really strong in your mindset, and you're knowing what is going on in your body, and having her to hold the space to give time for the partner and the mama and the doula to discuss, is this the best option? Should we try a labor longer? What options do we have, and what more things can we try? Can we try some positions? And what can we not do right now? Like, what if we don't do anything? The doula, she'll never speak for the mom, but she might say, so if Madison's the mom and the clinician is talking to her about, you know, we're thinking about having to go for a C-section, you've been laboring for quite a long time, I might say to Madison, how do you feel like your body's progressing? Yeah. And that's just holding space for a conversation to start on her end and with the doctor. So doulas are really powerful tools to have to advocate for the birth that you dream of.
And your doula knows you really well. You meet with your doula, you get to know them before you even hire them, you get to have meetings with them before labor even begins, you get to express your deepest desires for your birth, whether those are good desires or bad desires, or what you want to happen or don't want to happen. And your doula is going to know better than your provider how strongly you don't want or do want certain interventions. And so your provider may know, hey, I don't want an epidural, but your doula is going to know to what extent you don't want an epidural. And so when you get to that point that you're thinking, well, maybe it's a good idea, your doctor's going to say, okay, great, let's do it. Whereas your doula can say, well, I know that this is really important to you. Maybe let's try a different position, or try doing this differently.
Rest and nutrition, other means to, because sometimes an epidural can be necessary if you've been laboring for a really long time and your body can just not come down and be relaxed enough to let your cervix fully open and get baby down and out. Your doula might be the only person that mom can hear from, hey, I think an epidural would really be beneficial for what we need right now, because she knows you, she knows birth, your partner is really supportive of the decisions that the three of you are making together with the team. So,
and your doula can also help. A big part of our job is to work not only with the moms but their partners. So if a decision is made by the mom to get an epidural, and partner is really concerned about it, but as a doula that that's the best decision for mom, we can explain to the partner why this decision is being made, and that it's an okay thing and it's a good thing, and that this is not going to make it a negative birth experience, that she desperately needs a nap, and that's okay. Maybe you can take a nap too. And epidurals can be life-saving, but there's also that fear that they're going to be forced on you, and having a doula can eliminate that idea that you're going to have one when you don't truly want one.
And even if you're a mama who medically a scheduled C-section is the best plan for you, you might be thinking, well, then a doula is not for me. If a C-section, if you have a lot of fear and anxiety even walking into a hospital, having a doula with you from home, the drive-in, or the parking lot, meeting you there through the process to have the emotional support and the postpartum support of the skin-to-skin and the nursing, especially that aspect of things, can be really beneficial. But more importantly, the recovery of your C-section and that new mama role after you just underwent a major abdominal surgery depending if it was elective or emergency. And Madison is a great postpartum doula. She's been doing it for quite a while, and she can touch on more of what the postpartum doula role looks like.
Yeah, so again, C-section is a major abdominal surgery, and it saves lives, absolutely. But I think that sometimes they can be taken a little lightly, that they're just simply another option for having a baby. But there comes a lot more recovery time with any intervention, and C-section being the biggest, that no matter how small the incision is, you cut through layers and layers to get to that baby all the way, you know, and organs are moved and all this stuff. And
you're going around a natural hormone cascade and labor process that is designed perfectly, you know, to develop and get your baby's lungs perfect for that first breath, to colonize their nose, their mouth, to help with their gut bacteria, to help with your hormones and your recovery. So a C-section, while it's an amazing surgery, I'm so glad we have them.
Yes.
I think we need to be mindful of when we're using them. And this is a discussion in the provider world as well. So it's nothing new. And providers are faced with, they don't want to get sued, and they need to be safe. And sometimes they don't want to play the risk benefit game. They're like, this is the best option. So recovery wise, that I think is one topic that we're all on the same page, that it's tough afterwards. And if you live in a house with stairs, if you have other children, or maybe you have family who isn't the most helpful, they might stress you out a little bit if they come over. So you're thinking, I just had a baby and they want to come help. Hiring a postpartum doula like Madison can be really beneficial, because tell us some of the things that you do postpartum.
Yeah, so postpartum, especially for a C-section, is helping with comfort measures. No matter how you deliver your baby, there's going to be a recovery period, and so helping with different ways around the house that you can, you know, find comfort. The C-section, especially, you're going to have a scar on your abdomen, so finding the right, if you choose to breastfeed, the right breastfeeding holds, so that baby is not sitting directly on that incision, is A, going to help your healing, and B, make breastfeeding more successful. And that hold may actually be the best one for your baby, and all of that. And so part of the postpartum work as a whole is helping with feeding, whether that's breast or bottle, helping get situated back home, helping everyone bond, answering any questions, those comfort measures, kind of helping mom and dad determine, okay, baby's crying, what might need to happen, you know, and providing evidence-based information again about how to parent. You know, once baby's born, even when they're this big, you are becoming parents, and you have to figure out all these decisions that you have to make later on down the road.
These new schedules, these new routines, cooking meals. You know, if dad doesn't have paternity leave and or partner is right back at work, I mean, you need someone there to help you. So especially after a major surgery, that postpartum doulas are life-saving.
I agree. And you know, different decisions that have to be made, you know, whether you choose to breastfeed or not. If that's something that you're not sure of, we can talk about that. You know, whether you want to do scheduled feedings versus cue feedings, getting them on a nap schedule or a nap routine. Those are, you know, two different things. They sound kind of the same, a schedule and a routine, but they're very different, and they can benefit baby and you in different ways. And so we talk about those kind of things. And you know, once we kind of get through all of that, then it's a lot of physical and emotional support, just like a birth doula. We're going through this together. You're taking care of your baby, and I'm right alongside you. Just like a birth doula, you're going through labor, and I'm right alongside you.